I am an architect planner, and presently I am working as a dean at Faculty of Design at Manipal University, Jaipur. We are doing research in building materials from industrial waste, agriculture waste, but still it has to be patented, so I will not share here. And we are also doing research on bio-based materials like bamboo, hempcrete, and all these things. Here I will just give the review of construction and demolition waste management, that is reducing, recycling, recovering, and reusing. Next slide. So the structure of the presentation will be what is C&D waste and its classification, then impact of C&D waste, then C&D waste management Indian scenario, global scenario, then comparison of India with other countries, then the challenges which India is facing and the way forward for India. Next. So if we talk about introduction to C&D waste management, I think all of us knew, but the waste material that is produced in the process of construction, then renovation, or from natural hazards, or demolition of the buildings, and which can be, again, the building structures can be residential, non-residential, roads or bridges, and the components of C&D wastes typically include concrete, bitumen, masonry, brick, wood, and metals. And we have to see the pyramid, like we have to promote the reuse of the material, recycling of the material, and not the disposing at the landfills. So we have to use this kind of pyramid for the construction and waste management. Next. So if you look at the classification of waste, the waste comes from the construction industry, waste comes from the natural calamity like earthquakes and floodings and all these things. Then waste also come from the renovation, the demolition of the buildings. Next. And if we look at this flow chart, basically, next slide I am going to discuss the impact of this on how C&D waste is impacting the air, soil, and even the environment. And ultimately, it's relating to our health also because of the soil contamination and the soil impact. Next. Yeah, in this slide, you can see how the C&D's waste is contaminating the environment as a soil, then air and dust pollution, then non-recycled debris, that is resource drain. Then untreated waste in the urban area is the biggest problem. And the land occupation, that is construction, demolition, and dumping. And the water pollution is also there. Next. So as we all know that construction waste generated in India is around 150 million tons, and we contribute to the 35 to 40% of the global waste annually, C&D waste annually. And as per CSE, Center for Science and Environment, estimated that India recycles just 1% of C&D, and it's being generated. So it is a huge challenge for us to manage this C&D waste. And India's first C&D waste recycling plant started in 2009 at Burari. Then it is, again, 53 cities are identified, but recently now in 13 cities these recycling plants are established. Next. If we look at the schemes and regulations related to C&D waste in India, there are laws and policies framed in India related to the pollution, like Swachh Bharat Mission by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and target of the mission is planning of deconstruction activity, establishment of bylaws, and that are included in the mission. Moreover, based on the importance, the SBM doubled the awards points for its 200. Then there are guidelines on environmental management and construction demolition waste. The Central Pollution and Control Board, CPCB, issued new rules that were published on 29th March in 2016 by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And construction projects having more than 20 tons of C&D waste in a day or 300 tons waste in a month, they have to compulsorily give their site waste construction waste management plan. And by the Ministry of Urban Development also, the urban, next slide. Ministry issued a circular on 28 June 2018 to establish recycling centers in cities and towns with population greater than 1 million and established governance rule. So Ministry plans to establish temporary storage points in every Panchayat Raj systems and municipalities. Then according to Bureau of Indian Standards, it is responsible for issuing the specification and codes for the recycled products, and the updated IS recommends that replacement of 25% in PCC, 20% in RCC, and 100% in lean concrete with recycled aggregate. Then again, by BMTPC also, there are certain regulations which will promote the C&D waste, and I'll just go through some of the case studies in the next slide. Like as you see in the first picture, this is the case 1 in Delhi we have started. Then in case of Ahmedabad, we are also started C&D waste, and that is used for the roads. And in the third example, you can see Kochi, that is using the advanced machinery for C&D waste. Next. Now, if we look at the global initiatives, European Union, that is 70% of the construction waste to be recycled or recovered. Then USA states that regulation to utilize resources better, and Asia better, and they want to become zero waste by 2030. Asia has specific technology advancement on reuse and recycling waste to resource limitations, then cost, population, and demand. In Africa also, we can see resource and waste utilization due to limited resources and a different set of norms and standards there. Now, next. There are some buildings which I can just quickly go through. This is a case from Denmark, and the Danish government has set up the stringent regulations for waste sorting at the source, which facilitates more efficient recycling. The country also boasts advanced waste treatment technologies and infrastructure supporting the recycling effort. This is a building where waste to energy and recycled products are used in Copenhagen. Next. This is a case study from Germany, where Waste Recycle and Energy Plant Research Center is constructed by using recycled materials. Next. In USA also there are plants, and this is a Trinidad Circle, which is a sustainable home in Los Angeles, USA. This is also prepared by the recycled waste, C&D waste. And availability of satisfactory commercial opportunities for C&D waste products. Then incentive and reward schemes for zero C&D waste emissions, along with higher investment in C&D waste recycling, management, and treatment. Then design for deconstruction, that is demolition, as well as product design disassembly, that is in US. In UK also, next slide. The UK government also has put regulations in place to encourage the recycling in the construction industry. The site waste management plans initially made it mandatory for construction projects using over 3 lakh pounds to have a waste management plan, although this regulation has since been revoked, and this industry recognizes its importance. The target is to recycle and recover at least 70% of C&D waste by 2020, and many construction firms are already surpassed that. And these are two pictures where in the below picture you can see house made with the recycled material in Brighton, UK. The next case study of France. France has also been proactively working towards reducing landfill waste by implementing strict regulations for waste disposal and promoting recycling. And in this picture, you can see that green roof norm for all commercial buildings, renovation using recycled materials, that has been in the regulations. Next. Then there are successful strategies in China also. Availability of comprehensive policy structure and circular economy, then imposition of penalties on the discharge of C&D waste, then incorporation of incentive schemes is also there to promote the C&D waste. Then extended research on C&D waste is very good in China, because I have seen lots of paper and they are doing a wonderful work in R&D of C&D waste. Then usage of latest technologies such as BEAM, GPS, GIS, big data, integrated project delivery, then virtual prototyping, then CAD for improving performance and minimization of construction waste. Then appointment of structured supervisory teams for proper discharge of C&D waste. Next. These are successful strategies in Australia. Development of an updated legislative instruments for resource recovery, waste avoidance, reduction, reuse, recycling, and development of codes at each state and territory. Then enforcement of landfill disposal levies, that is higher landfill taxes in comparison to cost of recycling, make C&D waste recycling an essential option. Then establishment of C&D waste management and landfill diversion targets in all the jurisdictions. Then establishment of waste data management system, which includes data and reporting. Then market development and research for creation and maintenance of markets for recycled material globally. Next. Now, these are some of the pictures of the buildings which are made from recycled waste. That is Zigzag House in the USA. Then Mano Sadhana in Ahmedabad, India. It is made from recycled fly ash blocks and metals and plastic and glass. Then Mixed House in Mumbai, which includes old damaged recycled doors and windows on the facade. Then SOS Children Village in USA that uses recycled concrete, aggregate and waste from different construction sites. Then there is a Redondo Beach House in USA, which uses recycled steel containers and fabrics for exterior as well as interiors of the building. Then the last picture is Recycled Material Cottage, that is in Chile, uses recycled steel, wood, and concrete from various C&D sites in this area. Next slide. Now this is the example. Last month I visited Srinagar, and this is a house of my own student who is practicing as an architect in Italy. But in flooding, I think 2014 flooding, Jammu and Kashmir flooding, his house was demolished and it got affected. So what he has done in this picture, you can see, these are actually traditional Kashmiri, what it is called Varusi, traditional Kashmiri partitions you can see in that circle, which he has used for a wardrobe in the bigger picture. That is one part, and here in the incorporating this traditional Kashmiri crafts of paper mesh, and that is called Pinjrakari. That that panel of window he has used as a tabletop. So all the elements of his house, that is wooden elements, he has used for interior decoration and interior designing of his own house. Next. Here also you can see, these are just, that frames are just the panels of windows which got damaged in the flooding. So what he has done, that all the window panels he has cut into and then framed the paintings and other crafts of the area just to show as a decorative element or interior design elements. And all the wood recycled, wood as it is, not recycled, all these elements he has used for the interior design. Next. Here is one case study from Japan. This is also a recycling center. The example of waste recycling center at Kamikastu. That is zero waste center in a village of Kamikastu and is made of materials using recycled glass, wood, tiles, bricks and fabric. Next. Now, if we compare the performance of India with other countries, which we have mentioned now. So in India, C&D waste management plans are missing. Then there are lack of economic facilities. Then taxes, if you look at the taxes of GST on recycled product, it is 18%. So when the person goes for the recycled products, they feel that it is costly. So there is a need to reduce that tax. Then materials recovery also and reuse and quality standards we have to work. And all other countries recognizes the environmental and economic benefits of recycling, construction, and demolition waste through a combination of regulations, advanced technology, and industry initiatives. They have achieved substantial recycling rates in the construction sector. Next. So we are facing some challenges in India, that is lack of regulations, inadequate infrastructure, then contamination, technological limitations. Still we are not, it is very surprising to know that only we are managing 1% of the C&D waste. So we need to develop the technology to manage this waste. Then economy, public awareness is most important, because in C&D waste, there is a role of all the stakeholders like the contractors, the people working on the site, the architects, the interior designers, the civil engineers, the government authorities, and real estate developers. So there should be awareness program, and I think if you do the capacity building and with the help of the people that is involved in the construction, we can achieve this better. Then environmental hazards, then rapid urbanization, that is the problem everywhere in India. Then limited space for disposing and recycling. Though India is taking lots of initiatives, out of 53 cities, we have recycling plants in 13 cities, but still we have to go way ahead. Next. Now, what is the way forward for India? First and foremost, is the social awareness towards sustainable environment is crucial. And that comes to, I think, legislation is the danda for all of us. Until and unless it is not in the legislation, people are not intent to follow it. So we have to do this social awareness through its crucial rules and regulation, control instruments, that is strict penalties. Whoever is not doing, we have to give the penalties for them. Then there will be perceptible changes in attitudes. That is most important, because I read one research paper and that they concluded that if the attitudes and behaviors of the people are not going to change, until we are not going to achieve this C&D waste management in India. So it is very important to change our behavioral patterns and attitudes towards waste. Then we need R&D for resource efficiency. Then I am in teaching from last 30 years, but I'm very surprised that we teach building material to the students which are conventional. But we never gave focus on these kind of materials. Now also we are doing a research, like I told you, that how the building materials can be prepared from the agriculture waste, the industry waste. We have also, like in our lab, our other Department of Civil Engineering has prepared tiles from marble dust, because there is a lot of marble dust in Rajasthan, in Kishangarh. So we are preparing some kind of materials, partitions from that. So there is a huge need of R&D funds for this managing construction and demolition waste. Then collaboration is very important, until and unless we collaborate, because it is ultimately, like in the morning we have heard the chairman of the session saying that Chandrayaan 3 was successful because of teamwork. And similarly, I think construction and demolition waste management is also possible through teamwork only. Then standardization of CWM practices along with the administrative head specifically for C&D waste. Then adopting process for flow monitoring for waste generation, collection, transportation on site. Then establishing checkup points for illegal construction of C&D waste. Then providing barcode or QR, that is technology basically. And in the further slide also, I will just brief about what are the kind of technology other countries are using and we should also use. So penalizing next. Digitization of C&D waste is very important for the accessibility of the data, and therefore providing training on usage of latest technologies such as integrated project delivery, then virtual prototyping, CAD, implementing CWM can preserve raw materials and ensure numerous environmental and social benefits. Then enhancing attitudes associated with the implementing waste management by creating market of recycled products. That is very important, because lots of good products and value-added products can be made out of C&D waste. One is we can recycle and reuse the material again in the buildings, but there are lots of value-added projects can be made out of this waste. So we have to focus on then creating the market for recycled products, then additional of financial drivers, and then marketing recycled products at a lower price in comparison with the conventional products. That only then we can, improve the C&D waste management. Next. Now, establishment of contractual clauses which are requisites for CWM, then framing of legislation which includes deconstruction plan at planning phase itself, because building itself is a life cycle. And then amendments like if we look at the green building rating systems all over the world, there is a weightage for recycled and salvaged materials, but we need to increase the credits for that. Until and unless we do that, people will not follow that. Like if you do see, the prevention is always better than the cure. And in all the rating system, if you look at the innovation also in the design, the least credit is given to that. And there's like, if we design the buildings with respect to climate and culture, wind of the place, then there are less chances to consume the energy. So there itself we attack the problem. Similarly, if we give the more credits in all the rating systems, because nowadays many people are going for taking the rating systems like green rating, LEED rating, or Griha 5-star or that. So we have to increase the weightage for the credits for that. Then recruiting and training workforce, then setting up of recycling target for every project, then framing of GST tax waiver policies, then creation of societal awareness, and then improving employee motivation by implementing CWM. Next. So again, the same waste, where is it going, to roads, the bridges, or how it can be utilized and what are the solutions for that. Next. Now, if we talk about the technology, we are far behind in the technology for C&D waste, but other countries are using these kind of technologies like building information and modeling, then geographical information system, big data, radio frequency identification, image recognition technology, then image analysis, then global positioning system, barcode technologies, recycling robots, and through BIM, I think we can have we can do the optimization in design, then reconstructability assessment, then plan for demolition, then just-in-time delivery, then site planning, clash detection we can do it through BIM, then design validation, then facilitate off-site prefabrication, then design for construction, saving and sharing the data, and calculation and prediction of CDW. Next. Now through artificial intelligence, now it is an era and everybody is exploring the role of AI and VR in each field rather. So through artificial intelligence, we can do the smart waste management system like chemical analysis, field of use, and then urban applications. Next. Public awareness, as I already told you, that it is very important and we have to do the marketing for that. How can we do the ads for that through celebrities and all? How can it will be reached the common man that C&D is very important, so we have to do the capacity building for that. Next. Now, sustainable waste management. If we look at the picture, then digital platforms should be there, online trading, then two-sided markets for C&D waste. Then we can integrate trading platforms into more accurate match where it is going, then more efficient transactions, and how we can recycle that waste. So using sustainable measures to utilize resources for present and future generations, and a practice to normalize with due course of time. Then effectively managing waste and resources to develop cities for our future generations to thrive. And the most important thing is a commitment for healthy living. That is against the all above concern, because we have to live healthy on this planet. So for becoming healthy and have a healthy lifestyle, the C&D waste is very important. And there are multiple global initiatives with the goals which are globalized and goals which are regional, based on your based to make major governments normalize sustainable practices. And the next slide. Yeah, I like to conclude that India's journey in managing C&D waste is an evolving narrative of challenges met with innovation, collaboration, and determination. And as the country marches forward, the best practices it adopts will serve a beacon for other countries, for others to follow. Thank you.